And the topic today is a holy name.
Okay, Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
Krishna's holy name.
I'll turn it over to you. Hare Krishna.
So there's one particular bhajan. It's from Gitavali. It's in the songbook by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. You can also put the words up for the devotees to see.
Okay, Guru Maharaj, I'll say.
It's called Arunodaya Kirtan. Arunodaya Kirtan. Okay, that's it. Again, just that's the beginning. So put it all the way up. There you go. Oops, that's good enough. Om Gyantimirandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chaksu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Vastyatya De Sitarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Itanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in our series of daily lectures, occasionally we visit the most important topic, and that is the glorification and the importance of chanting Sri Krishna's holy name, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. As it's explained in the Vedas and throughout the Vedas, Lord Brahma gives the indication. He says, Iti sodasakam nam nam kalikama sanasanam nata paratayopayo sarva vedashu drishyate. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. After searching through all Vedic literatures, one cannot find a more direct, simple, and ultimately sublime process for self-realization, particularly in this age of Kali, and the chanting of these 16 names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that particular verse illustrates the importance of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and Lord Brahma, being the authority on spiritual, he is the head of our sampradaya. He is the sampradaya head. We are in the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. And Lord Chaitanya decided to come into this particular Sampradaya in order for his teachings to be explained and distributed. So he chose the Brahma Sampradaya, which includes Madhvacharya also. And we also know, and we also hear regularly, how important it is to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the Yuga Dharma. It is the focus of those who are interested in going back home, back to Godhead. And even for those who don't have the focus of going back home, back to Godhead, but are engaged in spiritual life, when they begin and develop their chanting, they develop the desire to go back home, back to Godhead. So the mantra, and this particular mantra is the king of all mantras. That's why it's given the term Maha Mantra. And Prabhupada has emphasized and illustrated, and the scriptures also support the fact that in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, all of Krishna's energies, all of Krishna's qualities, all of Krishna's pastimes, all of Krishna's names, everything, the whole nomenclature of the absolute truth is contained within the sound of the name Krishna. No one can understand that from an analytic or intellectual platform. It can only be understood partially through realization as one purifies themselves through chanting. So in this particular age, the emphasis is on chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. It is considered to be the supreme sadhana in this age, which means that even if one is doing any of all of the rituals and sadhanas recommended in different Vedic explanations of practice, if they do not include the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then all of the rest of it is useless. So the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra gives life to everything else you do when it's accompanied and focused as the main activity in one's day-to-day activities. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an incarnation of the holy name himself. He is Krishna, but he is Krishna in the mood of spreading and practicing both the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. In this particular song, it's quite beautiful. These are a two-part song given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. In it, describes Lord Chaitanya's daily activities. And so we'll go through the song. The melody is quite pleasing. And I'll do my best to give some credit to this melody. And we'll sing, and then we'll go and explain the translation. And this song is to be sung every day at dawn when the sun rises above the horizon. In our Krishna consciousness movement, when I joined the temple, this was a daily affair within the temple. We sung this song every day as part of the morning program. So it's sweet, it's very direct, and it's the enthusiasm of Lord Chaitanya that's being glorified as he inspires chanting, dancing for himself, his devotees, and specifically, and most important, for all others. So we'll begin. Udila Aruna Podana Baje Dwijamani Goda Amani Jage Bakata Samuha Loya Sata Gela Nagara Brahaje. When the rising sun appeared in the east, the jewel of the twice-born, Lord Gaurasunda awakened and took his devotees with him. He went all over the countryside, towns and villages. And we get a little indication of what Lord Chaitanya did every morning. As soon as the sun would come up, he would organize his devotees and they would begin the kirtan, traveling from town to town, from village to village. Tattari, tattari, baji loko, Gana Ganata Gajajira Rohu Prema Daya Dala Sonara Sangha Sarane Nupura Bahaje. Now we get more into the description. The mridanga, coal, sounded tatari, tatai, and the jajas, the large metal kartals that look like small cymbals, in that kirtan played in time. Lord Gauranga's golden form slightly trembled in ecstatic love of Godhead, and his foot bells jingled. Now here we get an indication of the Lord Chaitanya is now moving into the kirtan. And his beautiful golden form, he is called Gaura Sundar. He is so beautiful that simply by seeing him, others would say, wow, the artist has reached its perfection. The creator cannot perform anything even more beautiful than what we see in front of us, the beautiful Lord Chaitanya's form. And now he's in ecstasy of love of God, and he's wearing on his ankles nupura. Nupura means ankle bells. And as they jingle when he sings and when he dances, the kartals are playing, the mridangas are sounding, tatai, tatai. So the kirtan is beginning. Lord Chaitanya, the twice born, is moving through the towns and villages, and already, as the kirtan begins, he's already feeling ecstasy. Mukunda Madhava Yadava Hari Bole no Bore Avadana Bore Miche Nida Basa Gelo Re Rati Divasa Sadida Sahaje. All the devotees chanted the names of Mukunda, Madhava, Yadava, and Hari. Their mouths being filled with the vibration, they would announce to the still sleeping people, you spend your nights uselessly sleeping and your days decorating your dead bodies. It doesn't say dead there, but we just added something to it. And so now they're encouraging all of, wake up, Jeev Jago, you're sleeping on the lap of Maya. Come up, Lord Chaitanya is here. Join in the kirtan. It'll make you happy. You not only become happy, but you'll actually come to the goal of love of God. So fill your mouth with the vibrations of these beautiful names of Krishna. Each of the names of Krishna has a particular meaning which describes his qualities. Mukunda means one who gives liberation. Madhava means the reservoir of all transcendental sweetness. Yadava, he is Krishna, who appeared in the Yadava dynasty. And Hari has many meanings. Hari refers to Krishna, but it also means he who takes away everything inauspicious and leaves you only with himself. Then they would tell the people, wake up. They're sleeping uselessly. The idea of sleep is simply another form of death. When you go to sleep, you die. It's a temporary death. And after some hours, you again come awake. But when you're sleeping, you're unconscious. You're not doing anything. You're just laying in this bag and you're just wasting time sleeping. So, of course, we have to sleep in order to maintain the body. That's there. But there are others who think sleeping should be done in the maximum amount of time. And we should get as much sleep as we can because sleeping is so nice. If you're feeling miserable, you want to go to sleep. If you're unhappy, you want to go to sleep. And you waste time. So the devotees, it says that the residents of Vrindavan, they also sleep. But when they sleep, they dream about Krishna. And when they wake up, they are inspired to begin again another day of service to the Supreme Lord. So here we get a little bit, and what else? You're decorating your bodies. And so these bodies, if you don't decorate them, they're pretty dry. Sometimes people spend a large amount of time just looking into the mirror, putting on all kinds of cosmetics and making sure the hair is in the right position, and using oils, getting all kinds of combs and brushes, putting the part right where it's supposed to be, and everything else has to be there, and putting on the makeup and whatever else. And the men do it too, not just the ladies. And then they get all these fragrances because the body smells bad anyway. So, you have to cover up that smell with something that's fragrant, but it doesn't work. Sometimes it just gives some temporary. So, yeah, these bodies are a bad bargain. They're filled with all kinds of vile substances covered by a thin layer of skin. And we think, oh, they're so nice. I have this beautiful body. But just investigate closer and you'll see what it's made out of. Okay, so you spend your nights uselessly sleeping and your days simply decorating your bodies. Emana dulaba manava deho payikika kvavana keho ebina baji le yasoda suta charame purube latala jay. You have achieved such a rare human body, but you do not care for this gift. You remain not serving the darling of Yasoda and slowly fall through your last moments to death. So to get a human form of life is very rare. We don't seem to understand this principle because we think, oh, yeah, human body, that's nice. There are so many different bodies and I have a human one. But it's rare. There are 8 million species of life, and there's 400,000 species of human life. And very few of those 400,000 are actually civilized. But to get a birth in a good family, in a civilized nation, and to have a human form of life, it's a gift. As it says here, it's rare and it's a gift. Why? Because only in that consciousness, which is a higher state of consciousness when we compare it to the other forms of life, only then can one actually make a solution to all problems of life. And then it says here, although you don't care for this gift, it's like somebody gives you a great gift and you just take it and push it in the corner somewhere. You don't really understand its value, nor do you know how to use it. You remain not serving the darling of Yasoda, Krishna, and slowly fall through last moments to death. In other words, time is withering away the benefits of having a human body. What are you doing? Are you wasting time simply decorating your body and sleeping uselessly? Death will come and take everything away. Then it's too late. Then you will lament, oh, I wasted my life. I could have been Krishna conscious. I had so many opportunities. I spent so much time just simply caring for this body, which is now taking me to the end. So we go on. Udita tapano hoyela asta dina gele bola hoy bibiasta tabe keno ebi alasa hoy abache ridoya rahaje. With every rising and setting the sun, a day passes and is lost. Then why do you remain idle and not serve the Lord of your heart? So Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying here, with every rising and the setting of the sun, another day is lost and one is closer to death. Why do you waste time in idle activities or useless activities? and not serve that person who is sitting in your heart, who is the most dearmost person to you, who is the person you are looking for throughout your whole life? Why don't you look for him? He's sitting in your heart. So the devotees here are speaking to people in general, just to let them know that actually their best interest is right next to them. Jivana anitya jana hasar tahe nama vidya vipada bar namasraya kori jatana tumi takaha apanakaha jay. This temporary life is full of various miseries. Take shelter of the holy name as your only business. And people say, well, life is nice. There's so many ways to enjoy life. But here, Lord Chaitanya's devotees are saying, no, this life is simply full of miseries. This Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Dukkalayam asasratam. It is temporary. It is miserable. And whatever you try to achieve in this life, even if you achieve it, you lose it in due course of time. What can you gain in this life but simply a whole series of miseries simply to somehow or other try to rectify and make it better? And this is material life. So why is it like that? Krishna has arranged the material energy in such a way as we don't become complacent and try to be happy in this material world. He wants to inspire us to make a solution to all problems by not allowing us to be comfortable in this material world. And so there's one miseries after another. Miseries coming from the body, we all know that. Miseries coming from the mind. Miseries coming from other living entities, such as mosquitoes, dogs, government agents, and relatives. So many miseries. And then there's miseries of higher powers, viruses, and cold, heat, excessive cold, excessive heat, and various other calamities such as earthquakes, tidal waves, forest fires, and various types of scarcities. This material world is just a foreign place meant to punish the living entity who is trying to be happy in this world. So here it says, take shelter of the holy name as your only business. It doesn't say as a business, your only business. Make the chanting of the holy name your main business in life. Here it says only business. And you'll see Srila Prabhupada in many of his lectures, he says, chant 24 hours a day. Don't stop chanting. Make chanting. When you chant the holy names, you are with Krishna. When you chant the holy names, you're fulfilling the goal of life automatically. You're purifying your heart. You're actually becoming happy. You're actually becoming free from all forms of suffering. And you're actually waking to that person who you've been looking for millions of lifetimes. His name is Krishna. He comes in different forms, but his sweetest of all forms is the darling of Mother Yasoda, Lord Sri Krishna. He is the best of all of the forms. Jivira kalyana saranakam jakata aseda maduranam avidyati maratapana rupe rigagana birahajay. To penetrate the darkness of ignorance and bless everyone's heart, the holy name has risen like the shining sun. Nice analogy here, using the sun. As the sun rises above the horizon, everyone feels, oh, the day has begun, and activities start, and people become happy seeing the sun as it appears above the horizon with its beautiful colors changing until it situates itself in its orbit in the sky. and then it becomes a shining ball, giving light, giving heat, giving happiness to all. The sun is a manifestation of Krishna's energy, but here the holy name is the son of the suns. It says that even if 100 suns, no, not 100, 10,000 suns were to rise simultaneously, it could not compare to the light of Krishna's holy name, which is the source of all the other suns. So it penetrates the darkness of ignorance. Ignorance is compared to darkness. Darkness means I can't see. I'm confused. I feel fearful. I make the wrong activities. I don't know who I am. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I should be doing. It penetrates and illuminates the darkness and dissipates that darkness, and the darkness falls away. And it gives everyone happiness of the heart. The holy name rises just like a beautiful sun. So one should chant as much as possible. And here it says in the previous verse, should be one's only business. Krishna Nama Sudi, Krishna Nama Sudi Kori Krishna Nama Suda Kori Opan Jura Bakati Vinoda Prahan Nama Bina Kinchuna Hiko Ara Chauda Bhuvanam Mahajay. Drink the pure nectar of the holy name. There is nothing but the name to be had in all the 14 worlds. It has filled the soul of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So the author himself ends the song by saying, drink, it's nectar. Sometimes we get nectar drinks. We mix yogurt and some very tasty fruit juice together, and we mix it up, and it's a hot day and we're feeling parched due to the heat of the sun, and someone comes with this beautiful nectar drink and says, here it's for you, and there's more available after you finish. You think, oh, you're so nice. Thank you very much. So the holy name is compared just to give us a little indication of some of the relief that the holy name gives. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur wants to make the point, and he gives it. And he says there are 14 worlds, 7 planetary systems up and 7 planetary systems down. And there's nothing outside of those 14 worlds except the spiritual world. And in those 14 worlds, the holy name has descended. Harinam Sankirtan, Ratin Jan Mino Keli Upain, Brajendra Nandana Ye Sachi Suto Hoilase, Balaram Hoililo Nitai, Gornitai have come, and Dinahina Chatta Chilo, Harinama Udarilam, Tar Shakshi, Jagai, Madai, all the Jagais, all the Madais in the world they're starting to dance and sing and feel happy simply by the descending of the holy name, which comes from the spiritual world. Golokera, Premadan, Harinam, Shankirtan, Ratin Jan Milo Kena Upai. The glories of the holy name are as glorious as Krishna himself, without even the slightest difference. So drink that pure nectar and feel the happiness that you are looking for life after life after life. There is nothing in the 14 worlds like the holy name of the Lord. Cannot be compared to anything, and it gives light, it gives happiness, it gives spiritual elevation, and it takes one back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now here from Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving us a little bit of an indication of where we can look for what we are hankering for, the holy name. Even if it's difficult, chant. Even if you feel like you would rather do something else, don't listen to your mind. Just chant the holy names of the Lord. And the more you chant, and the more you try to hear that sound, and the more you realize, what am I chanting? I'm saying Krishna. Who's Krishna? He is the source of all existence. He is my source also. And Hare, that's Srimati Radharani, who is the pure energies personified in in form of the female manifestation of the absolute truth, who gives unlimited pleasure and is the most merciful manifestation of pure devotional service. So when we actually chant the holy names, we can also think, what are these names? What do they actually indicate? What do they actually mean? And that will give us a greater understanding and a greater depth to the quality of our chanting. So here, this song is so nice. This is part one. There's actually part two to the song. And let's go to part two, and I'll just, I won't give a detailed explanation, but part two is the continuation. This is part one.
So Guru Maharaj, here I should, may I know?
Does it have part two here?
No, Guru Maharaj, this is the ending here.
Okay, so go for Aruna Doya Kirtan part two. Just look for part two. It's the same name. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, KK songs are the best. Yeah. The first, yeah, it's Jeev Jago is the first one. G-I-V. Look for that first letter, G-I-V, Jeev. Yeah. Okay, this is, yeah. Aruna Doya Kirtan part two. Jeev Jago, Jeev Jago, Gora Chandam Bhole, Kota Nidra Jayomayam Pisachira Kole, Bajibo Bolila Eshem Samsara Bitadhem. Bulia rohile to me, avidyara barem, tomare loite ani, hoinu avataram, ammi bina bandhu aram, keache tumaram. Enechayos Hari Mayam Nasi Baralagi Hari Nama Maha Mantram Lautumi Mahagim Bhakati Vinora Prabhu Charane Puriya Say Hari Nama Mantram Loilo Magia. Lord Gauranga is calling. Wake up, sleeping souls. Wake up, sleeping souls. How long will you sleep in the lap of the witch called Maya? You have forgotten the way of devotional service and are lost in the world of birth and death. I have descended just to save you. Other than myself, you have no friend in this world. I have brought the medicine that will wipe out the disease of illusion from which you are suffering. Take this Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I fall at the Lord's feet, having taken this Mahamantra. Now it's beautiful. And then there's also a little purport that comes with the song here. But that's, yeah. So this two-part is a beautiful rendition of the glories of the holy name, and the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as he travels everywhere and anywhere and inspiring his devotees to do the same thing. If you're traveling and you're preaching, you should be also glorifying Krishna's holy name in every lecture you give, not simply once in a while. Okay, so we'll stop there.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, thank you so much for this powerful class and reminding us the holy name is everything. We have to take shelter of holy name. That's only our business. It's really, we feel like, I'm a sleeping soul. We are awakened by your nectar. Thank you again. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please have any questions, comments, realizations. Please, you can unmute or you can type in the chat box or you can also raise your hand. And also I would humbly request, possible, please turn on your cameras. That will be very nice, engaging for all of us, taking your darshans.
There's a lot there that we covered.
Yes, so many things today Guru Maharaj covered. So many points really we have realized, and we got that urgency to focus and do chanting more and more. So I'm sure you all have nice questions and nice realizations. Please, I would encourage any realizations also you would like to share.
Experiences too, if you have some experiences that sort of resonate with what we're talking about, that would be nice for everyone to hear.
Yes, Mataji, Sridevi Mataji raised her. Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Sudha. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my most humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, I'm very thankful for this lecture, especially the last sentence that you said. If you're a traveling preacher, then in every class, you should speak about the glories of the holy name, not just once in a while. So my question to you is, Guru Maharaj, I have the same mood that in every class, I want to speak about the glories of the holy name. I want to stress on the importance of chanting the holy name and emphasize that this is the Yuga Dharma. But then the accusation may come that this Mataji doesn't speak much on philosophy. She doesn't expound on every point in the verse. And half the time she's talking about the, chanting of the holy name. So how to balance out so that you're doing justice to the verse and you're glorifying the holy name?
One senior devotee who is very much absorbed in chanting the holy name, and he's just put out a book during lockdown, Candramauli Swami. During the lockdown for 2 years, he compiled a lot of his realizations, and he centered a lot of it around the holy name. He's also chants like constantly. One time he told me, and he's made it public to others, that when he was preaching in Russia, I think it was Russia or the Ukraine, either one, they have quite a large congregation there. Maybe it's actually the largest congregation outside of India in the Ukraine and in the Russian area. There's over 100,000 devotees there. And what he was saying, he said, devotees were coming to him regularly with problems. And he was, of course, there for them, trying to give them some guidance, some counseling, some solace. But then he realized that I think there's a better way to deal with this. So he continued with that, but he decided that for the next year, he's going to speak only on the holy name every class. And he did it for 1 year. Every class he gave, he spoke on the holy name. And he said, after 1 year, 50% of the problems disappeared. That's our problem. We just don't have a taste for chanting. This morning I was chanting and I got to my 16th round and I thought, I'm going to chant some more. And then I thought, I don't want to stop. Then I thought, I got to stop because I got a schedule to maintain. So I had to stop. But I didn't want to because sometimes the holy name is very merciful and sometimes the mercy comes with greater effort, but the mercy is always there.
So the answer, in other words, is keep going.
You preach according to your level of realization, and then you can also include the holy name. And you may not make it the main topic, but you should always include it in every lecture.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, I always do that. My concern is, am I doing justice to the verse then? Am I speaking properly on the philosophy? Am I giving enough time to discussing all the different aspects of the philosophy? Because I emphasize so much this holy name. So,
Prabhupada said two things. He said, the scriptures teach one thing. He said this in two different ways. He says the scriptures teach us that we are the eternal servant of the Lord and we must serve. We must serve the Lord. And the second time he said the same point and he answered it differently. He said the scriptures teach that the whole process of devotional service is to simply chant the holy name. So, if you can read the scriptures according to that vision, then you'll see that every verse points to the glorification of the Lord. And the glorification of the Lord is illustrated and highlighted and emphasized in this age by the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's why this song that we sung, especially Aruna Doya Kirtan #1, shows how enthusiastic Lord Chaitanya is to give the holy name to others. And if you're doing that, you're becoming very much recognized by Lord Chaitanya.
Okay, Guru Maharaj, thank you. Can we move on to next question, Guru Maharaj? That's okay. Navrata Mataji raised her hand. Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, I wanted to ask, when it sometimes happens that when almost like 10, 12 rounds are over, after then I start feeling, oh, this is the round what I was looking for, or something like that.
Good.
Until then there is a little dryness or lack of absorption. So how how can I overcome this thing, Guru Maharaj?
Well, Prabhupada says, when Prabhupada was asked in New York, Swamiji, what do you get from chanting? Prabhupada said, we get chanting from chanting. The result of chanting is more chanting. Just keep chanting, that's all. It might take you so many rounds to get to the point where you can actually observe yourself, but that's all right.
Okay. There's still that dryness, but I think it when you have that at least one round of quality chanting, it inspires you more that okay, this is something you wanted, so maybe next time I want more. I want more like that, like those rounds.
Yeah, if Krishna gives you all of the nectar at once, then you might think you're successful.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Okay.
Devotional service means to cultivate the mood of devotion. And you never reach, there's no point you actually reach. Of course, there's different levels by which you attain to, but each level leads to the next level.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. I think that is our impatience, maybe, that we want to reach so fast or something like that. Krishna is giving on time, I think. But we want to reach and realize being impatient. So,
Yeah, this is what we're looking for.
yes.
Yeah, but getting there is just as nice as when you get there. Because if you're chanting and you're sincerely trying and it's still dry, Krishna is seeing, oh, this devotee is very serious. So he's pleased.
Okay, so Guru Maharaj, again, it comes to the conclusion, keep going.
Yeah. Satatam kirtayan tomam yatantastat dadadidaham yatantastat imam nityam nitya yuktam upasyate. The Bhagavad Gita mentions that great souls, they're always chanting the holy names. They're always glorifying the Lord. But there's things you can do to help bring enthusiasm and taste to the holy name. Serve the Vaishnavas. That will increase the quality of your japa. Take only Krishna Prasadam and just what you need, not more. Read Srila Prabhupada's books and understand the process of devotional service. All of these will give quality to your chanting. Associate with senior devotees.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
We're not Babajis. We sit in our little room and just chant, and we don't want to talk to anyone. We put a sign up. This is my time for samadhi. I'll see you when I get out of samadhi. And then, he's so advanced, nobody can see him. He's chanting. He's shivering in ecstasy, but actually the reason why is because he left the window open and it's cold out. So there's a lot of pretense that goes on in the name of spiritual life.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. We have one more question by Devanand Pandit Prabhuji. Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please clarify one point. from your answer on Shridev Mataji question, you said about Niranjana Maharaja's experience when I misunderstood one important point, please clarify it. When Guru Niranjana Maharaj had more questions or troubles from his disciples, and when he began to talk about only about Krishna Leelas in his lectures, 50% of troubles fade away. Whose problems will fade away? His one problems or problems of his disciples?
The disciples were coming, not only disciples, but others, they were coming saying that, Maharaj, this is our situation. Can you help? And so he was giving counseling, but then he decided, well, I think maybe to help the devotees, they should hear more and understand more the importance of chanting the holy names. So he just gave every class on the holy name. I didn't say Krishna's sweet Leelas. I said the holy name, and that's what he said.
Name.
The holy name, only the holy name. He spoke on every class for a year. And then he said, after that, the amount of problems within the yatra dropped 50%.
Problems of his devotees.
In the yatra, yeah.
In the yatra. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
You're in the yatra.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Devotees, any more questions, realizations that you'd like to share? Guru Maharaj, I have a question about here I mentioned holy name, it has everything, pastimes, whole nomenclature of Krishna is present. So when we chant continuously, when we advance in chanting, so that means Krishna reveals everything in the mind. How should we understand that? When we improve the quality of chanting and progress in chanting. So
yeah, well, let's explain that you realize that Krishna is non-different than his name. That's one level of realization that comes by chanting. And then a higher realization that you realize that Krishna is non-different than his form. Higher than that, you realize Krishna is non-different than his qualities. And the perfection of chanting is that Krishna is non-different than his leelas, his pastimes. So it's called Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. So the holy name takes you from step to step in realization of the different characteristics of the absolute truth, from name to form to qualities to pastimes.
So, Guru Maharaj, as a neophyte, we begin with the name, just listening to the mantra. Then,
Practice. Just keep practicing.
And also, Guru Maharaj, I was just reading this purport just before your class about same. It's 1 point from Kunti Maharani prayers. It's 1.826. There it mentioned it depends on the quality of feeling, like quality of utterances of the holy name. So when we chant, sometimes our consciousness is not very properly set. So that time should we stop and just wait to set the consciousness and
just change your consciousness
and just begin again. So just instead of continuing the
try
chant,
to adopt the idea. The principle is adopt the mood that you want to develop. You can change your mood simply by bringing your consciousness into the particular mood.
Okay.
External environment can inspire a particular mood, but you can also inspire a mood within yourself. So what is that mood? Well, calling out to Krishna, Krishna, help. I'm in this material world and I'm suffering. And my suffering is not so much my physical or mental suffering. It's my suffering is because I'm separated from you. I'm here in this world and I think that I can be happy here. And every time I try, I realize I can't.
We should continue to chant with that mood, like just help Krishna. Like
Rupa Goswami has given us these beautiful prayers called Nam Astikam. Read those 8 prayers to the holy name, the Nam Astikam. Sachinandana Maharaj has written 2 books, and actually 3 books, exclusively on the holy name. And there's other books that describe the holy name. Read Chaitanya Charitamrita, the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his devotees, which centers around the glorification of the holy name.
thank you very much. Definitely, your classes really help us to, bring us back that mood. And today's class was so powerful.
My classes is not just taking up time. My classes is to inspire devotees to do 2 things. 1, to chant the holy name, and to preach Krishna consciousness. This is why I give these classes. To inspire the devotees to actually become messengers of this mercy that we have received to others. I'm hoping and praying that devotees will understand more that the need of Krishna consciousness is so dire, especially in today's world, that it's the difference between suffering and happiness. And Lord Chaitanya has a plan. His plan is to get everyone in the entire universe to chant Hare Krishna. That's his plan. But like he says, as he writes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he takes the position of a humble servant and he says, I have all of these beautiful fruit of love of God, and it's a full storehouse of all of these sweet, juicy fruit. And I am tasting this fruit and becoming happy. But I want to make everyone happy, so I want to distribute those fruits to everyone. So therefore, I'm only one person. How can I do it? Therefore, please help me. That's what he says. He's asking for help. And when you give it, you get it.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll stop here, and I have to join another program that's already in progress. So, thank you. And tomorrow, yeah, we will again do another program at the same time.
Okay, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Vaishnav Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vranda ki jai. Hare Krishna. So before we end the call, I just want to announce about initiations tomorrow at Bhaktivedanta Manor. We have 2 initiations, 7 second initiations and 2 first initiations.
Oh,
And-
one first initiation.
Oh, one first initiation. So one first initiation. And also just reminder about the upcoming retreat, which is 24 to 27. Devotees, if you're still looking and planning, I would encourage, please register. You can email cmsretreat22@gmail.com. It will be very nice to see all devotees and have a devotee association and nice association with all senior thing. A nectar from Guru Maharaj and Her Grace Chiti Shakti Mataji and His Buddhavan Prabhuji.
Haribo, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Srila
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
devotees.
Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Sudha Mataji. Thank you to all devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.